Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. I'm making this quick video in a comparison between the Nexus 7 and the iPad mini. Now, I first heard about the iPad mini, rumors and speculation about it about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And I was excited. I have a Nexus 7. I'm not a fanboy of Google or of Apple. I like both operating systems. I think both products are usually great. And overall, I do really enjoy using both operating systems. I think they both have their pros and they both have their cons. I was really upset though when I saw the keynotes for the iPad mini and how they were comparing the Nexus 7 with the iPad mini. Now, they're both very similar. They're both the same screens, 7-inch screens. The Nexus 7 7 inches, the iPad mini is 7.9 inches, it's slightly bigger. But the way they were comparing it on the keynotes was, I don't know, it just seemed ignorant of them. They kept saying the two same things. The iPad mini screen's bigger, and they have more tablet-based apps. And they'd say the same thing in different forms, like, we have a bigger screen, you can view more websites full picture on this device, you have more screen real estate. It's the same thing. Okay, you told us you have a bigger screen, you don't have to tell us 5 times, phrasing it differently. Same with the apps. They'd say, okay, this app runs tablet version, you don't have it on the Nexus 7. This app runs a tablet version for the iPad mini, but it doesn't on the Nexus 7. And they just kept saying the same thing over and over again. I was really excited about the iPad mini. I thought they were going to make a great device, something that could really contend with the Nexus 7, because throughout the last few months, the Nexus 7 has been dominating the 7-inch tablet market. They sold over, I believe, 100 million, they said. It's crazy, the numbers that the Nexus 7 sold. But what really irritated me is that they never once went into specs between hardware of the Nexus 7 and the iPad mini. They did tell you the specs of the iPad mini, and they compared it with the iPad 2, but they never say anything about the specs of the Nexus 7. Now, the Nexus 7 has a quad-core processor, the Tegra 3 processor, and as far as I know, it's the only tablet with a quad-core processor. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But the iPad mini is running an A5 processor chip, which is a dual-core processor, and I'm not saying that processors make a huge difference. It's how the processor works with the operating system that it's running, But in most scenarios, the quad-core processor is going to outbeat the dual-core when it comes to video games, high-def streaming, and so on. They didn't tell you that the Nexus 7 screen is smaller, but its resolution is quite a bit higher. It's running an HD display, while the iPad mini is running just a regular display. I find it funny that they left so much information out that would really sway a buyer's decision on what they want to buy. One thing that also really irritated me was when I saw the price of the iPad mini. With its lowest price, its 16GB model going for, I believe, $330. You can get the Nexus 7 16GB right now for $250. That's one I have. And later this year, I believe, it's a rumor right now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen because, it just sounds like it's something that Google would do. Supposedly coming out with a 32GB version that's going to be selling for $250, and they're going to drop the 16GB version down to the $200, and they're getting rid of the 8GB version. So when you compare those prices, you get the 16GB Nexus 7 with quite a bit better internals for $200, and you get the same memory on the iPad mini for $130 more. Makes no sense to me. I know that Apple is well known for overpricing their items, yeah, through their computers, their MP3 players, everything I believe is completely overpriced. It's just something that they do. They know they can overprice their products because they know they're going to sell. Why do they sell? Because they're known for making quality products. Even though the specs of those products aren't always better than cheaper products. But it's all about the brand name. If you want to have an Apple product, you're going to pay for that. It's the brand. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'd rather have a smaller display with a higher resolution than a large display with a lower resolution. That's one thing that really irritated me. I was really positive that the iPad mini was going to have an HD display, maybe a Retina display. I don't think a Retina display would work great at all with the A5 processor, dual-core processor. I just don't think it would work great. I think there'd be quite a bit of screen lag. But like I said before, I don't know for sure. It's all about how the processor works with the operating system and how the screen works with the operating system and the processor. You don't know until you try the combinations out. As far as people saying that the iPad mini was going to be this great thing, I had high hopes for it. But like I said, I'm not a fanboy of either one. I like both Apple and Google products. I've had iPod Touches in the past. I've had Mac computers. For me, I feel that Android fits my needs better because it just seems to work more smooth for what I do. I'm not saying that Apple doesn't. I'm just saying that through my experience, which is completely personal opinion, that Google fits me best. And I'm not saying I don't like Apple. I do. I've said that before, and I'm just really disappointed at how bad they messed up on the iPad mini. They really should have included a better screen. They should have included a quad-core processor, or at least two A5 processors. I don't know why they didn't. The iPad mini's RAM is 512, while the Nexus 7's is a gig. It's just completely underspec. Everything about it is underspec. The main selling point on that is the fact that its screen is larger, but a larger screen with less resolution isn't that great. Another thing that they were saying that is a big selling point is the rear-facing camera. It's nice to have a rear-facing camera. If you need it, you have it with you. I would never take pictures with a tablet, though. I have a 14 megapixel camera that I take pictures with. I like good pictures. I like taking pictures that I can blow up and edit. I just wouldn't take pictures with a tablet. I don't even like taking pictures that often with my cell phone because it's only a 3.1 megapixel camera on the back, which I consider is basically useless for taking pictures because you can't really zoom in and edit those or anything. But when it comes down to it, I just think that Apple messed up on this, and if the rumors about Google is true, about them releasing a 32 gigabyte version, and dropping the price of the 16 gigabyte down, then Apple's going to have a lot of problems in the future with the Nexus 7. But that's good, I guess, because it's going to kind of push Apple to make maybe an iPad mini 2 with better specs, maybe a Retina display with two A5 processors, maybe 2 gigs of RAM. But as of right now, I wouldn't be able to recommend the iPad mini to anybody besides people who are devoted to Apple and don't already have an iPad. I just don't see it's worth the price. I just can't justify paying $330 for something that's spec'd so low. I know it's all a brand name, but when it comes down to it, I'd rather have something spec better for a cheaper price. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I like to save money and get better products. But hey, hopefully in the future, Apple releases an iPad mini 2 with better specs, because until that happens, I don't see myself spending money on it. I wanted to, but not with the specs it has currently. So tell me what you think. Tell me if you're planning on buying an iPad mini. why you would choose it over a Nexus 7, let me know. Alright? Till next time, take it easy. Bye.